You know, one day when they look over the history of this channel, this week is going to be remembered as Trey Hendrickson week. Because, yes, I've got another update on the trade rumors surrounding Cincinnati's star edge rusher. The unfortunate part about today's show is that we're going to talk about the bad news part of everything, because we got some recent reports that some people, some NFL insiders, believe Trey could be staying with Cincinnati. We'll break that down on today's episode. We got a couple of things to talk about. We're going to start by recapping everything that's gone on with Trey so far this week, and then I'm going to bring the bad news to you guys, so do not go anywhere. We got a loaded show. It's going to be a good one. And to lock us in, make sure you guys are subscribed right here on the channel. It's been an awesome month of May for us, okay? We've grown like crazy, and it's because we are trying to kick the butt of our Vikings channel right here at Chat Sports. Unfortunately, they're 26 subs up over us. I need you guys to help me out. You've been doing it all month long, and it can't stop. New viewers, I'm looking at you guys. It's free to subscribe. We do the Packers Report every single day, and we only talk Green Bay, okay? I can't think of 3 better reasons to subscribe today. Oh, and if you hate the Vikings, this is the place to be. So before we start, okay, I want to address all of those in the crowd, all of those in the comment section that say, I don't want to sign Trey Hendrickson because he's 30. Well, do you remember a name, Reggie White? Does that ring a bell to any of you guys? He signed with Green Bay on April 6, 1993. Guess how old he was then? 31 years old. And over the next six seasons with the Packers, he amassed 68 and a half sacks. Trey Hendrickson is not Reggie White. Nobody is, okay? And I'm the Packers Report host, and I'm a Tennessee Volunteer alum. So I love Reggie probably more than anybody. But just because Trey Hendrickson is 30, it doesn't mean that he's over the hill. Franchise quarterbacks need defensive studs. And right now, I don't think there's one on this roster. There's a lot of good players, but there's no freaks. And that's what Trey Hendrickson is, okay? Now that that's done, let's start catching you up on everything you may have missed this week, because our data and analytics tells us that each time we put out a video, about a third of the audience, this is their first time watching. So we talked about it a lot. Let's catch you guys up very quickly. On Monday, ESPN named Green Bay as a top trade destination for Trey Hendrickson. Then yesterday's video was Coach Matt LaFleur going on with Kay Adams, and he answered a question about adding a pass rusher. Now, you might not think that was about Trey Hendrickson. If you watch the clip, you'd believe that it was, but here's what Coach had to say. Okay, if it's up to me, we're never turning down great players. So yeah, I'll be up there talking to Goody and Russ. Do whatever you got to do to bring in as many good players as possible. I know one thing, great players make great coaches. If you have some great players, you're going to be a better coach because of it. Kay Adams quoted that tweet, it was the video of Coach talking, with this: sack leaders are great players. That was a quote from herself right after LaFleur answered the question. Guess who the sack leader was the past 2 seasons? That's right, Trey Hendrickson. So on today's show, the bad news. A Bleacher Report insider was on with Kay, a lot of Up and Adams talk on today's show, and delivered the bad news about Trey. Kay asked him, which team should push the hardest to trade for Trey if he becomes available? And why is it the Packers? I love that Kay is pushing Trey to Green Bay so heavily, but here's what James Palmer had to say. I'll put it out there first. I do think something gets done. I think he ends up staying. I think that's the most likely type of thing that ends up happening. The thing that I want to mention, with you mentioning Trey, you don't make the deals for Ja'Marr and Tee Higgins, and you have the deal in place for Joe, and you push for all these contracts to be done to not be on Super Bowl pursuit. You can't win a Super Bowl without a star pass rusher. And there is a lot of money due to their 3-star players on the offensive side of the football. Like he mentioned, $35 million to Joe this next year, $19 million to Ja'Marr, $35.9 million to Tee Higgins. And I get what he's saying, right? Cincinnati wants to win a Super Bowl. They're going to need Trey Hendrickson most likely to do that. But still, I've got 2 counter arguments to what James was saying there. 2 reasons why I still think that we shouldn't be 100% sold that they're wanting to keep him in Cincinnati. Before I lay those arguments out for you guys, though, Tell me down below, what does Cincy do with Trey Hendrickson? Do they trade him or do they keep him? You let me know in the comments section right now. So my first counter argument is this. Cincinnati really just isn't showing that they want him. They're actually kind of showing the opposite. When he didn't show up for, mandatory minicamp or the beginning of their team's practices with the rookies. This is from Jordan Schultz. Trey Hendrickson said he received a text from head coach Zach Taylor 30 days before mandatory minicamp, warning he'd be fined if he didn't show up. Something that frustrated him, especially given the poor communication from the team throughout the offseason. Hendrickson also made it clear he will not play under the final year of his contract, and Trey Hendrickson spoke a little bit about that and how Cincinnati's been handling this entire thing. They've done right by their own perspective. My perspective is different. It's become personal, unfortunately. And I kind of see why it's become personal. When you have the external vice president of the Cincinnati Bengals saying, yeah, maybe something will get done. She also said at some point it's on himself to make himself happy. Like all of these ridiculous statements. There's no communication over the entirety of the offseason. Then your head coach texts you. The only thing he says is, hey, if you don't show up to mandatory minicamp, we're going to fine you. Like, they're not showing they want him at all. And that's just showing Trey, like, let's go somewhere where you're wanted, somewhere where you're desired, somewhere well, you'll get paid. That's not what they're willing to do. My second counter argument to the star edge rusher is they just drafted a star edge rusher. Now, I put massive quotation marks on that because, as you guys know, if you paid attention during the draft process, I'm not a massive Ja'Marr Stewart fan. I don't think he's going to be any good in the National Football League. However, they thought he'd be good enough to spend their 17th overall pick, their first rounder, on the edge rusher. You could say that's probably just to pair next to Trey Hendrickson, but if they're not wanting to sign the contract, they look at the draft and they say, you know what, we could possibly get his replacement in the next 2 to 3 years if this guy develops like we think he's going to. But of course, Cincinnati is kind of screwing that thing up actively as well because Jordan Schultz released this a couple days ago saying first-round defensive end Ja'Marr Stewart will remain sidelined as Phase 2 of offseason workouts begins today, due to a disagreement over contract language in his rookie deal. Cincinnati can't do anything right, and because of that, I truly don't see Trey Hendrickson staying in Cincinnati. I get it. It could happen. He's been there a long time. His family lives there. He's competed for a Super Bowl there. He's got back-to-back 17.5 sack seasons there. But at some point, it feels like they're almost going a little bit too far. Because they're showing 0% interest in him. There's zero communication, and I think he's tired of it. So now, in my opinion, it's time to strike while the iron is still hot. Weigh in for me in the comments section. What's your confidence level that Trey Hendrickson gets traded? Scale it for me 1 to 100 in the comment section down below. Not the confidence level he gets traded to Green Bay, but just he gets traded, period. Let me know your answer. This is all Green Bay needs, in my opinion. The secondary's there. I got a lot of confidence in our linebackers, Edgerrin Cooper and Isaiah McDuffie and Quay. Like, it's just defensive line that's missing, in my opinion. And you add it to the wide receiver room. You already got a really great offensive line. We know we're set at quarterback and at running back. I just need a little bit more on the D-line. And what Philadelphia did this last postseason is they proved to everybody this is how you win in this league. This is how you win a Super Bowl. This is how you compete in the postseason. Because they did this against the greatest quarterback in the game right now, and he looked like Jacoby Brissett. Patrick Mahomes was a shell of himself because Philadelphia couldn't help but be in the backfield every 2 seconds. And that continued for the entirety of the playoffs. 96 pressures, 15 sacks, a pass rush win rate above 50%. Do you know how ridiculous that is? Now, I'm not saying you add Trey Hendrickson, you're that good, but you are better. Either just because the sheer addition of himself, and he's doing it just Trey, or everybody around him becomes better because offensive lines have to give more attention to him. It's going to be one or the other. Make sure you guys are following on social medias because when something like this happens, hopefully, I'll get it right there first, okay? Make sure you get my Twitter, Instagram, at Joey Petersen 8. Both those links are in the comments as well. And as always, we're still trying to beat our Vikings Now channel. Help us out by hitting that subscribe button.